Hello and welcome back. In the previous part, we have successfully created a brand new Laravel project, and also we designed our database using the code-first approach by creating these migrations inside the Laravel project and also migrating it. Okay, so we successfully creating these migrations. If you see here, these are all our migrations that we created in the previous video. And if I just head over to the database, you can see that we have the name of our database and the related tables that we have created in the previous video. But if I select from any of these tables, you can see that these tables are completely empty and doesn't have any data in it. So let me choose another one. You can see these tables are completely empty. But in real life or in real projects, if we want to work on any project, we need some test data to work on. So what we can do is to just seed some test data into our database to work on. So for that, Laravel provides some convenient method to do so. So if you head over to laravel.com here inside this database tab, and after clicking on seeding, you can see that we have this one which says Laravel includes a simple method of seeding your database with test data using seed classes, and this is really easy to seed the data inside your database. The only thing that you need to do is by writing PHP artisan make Cedar and the name of your model and also adding the Cedar. So this is a convention that you can follow, and you can just, after creating that Cedar, what you can do is just insert the data into your table. But following this method is really cumbersome. I mean, manually inserting the data into your database is really a tough task to do. So for that, you need to use the Laravel factories, because Laravel factories, model factories, you can use to conveniently generate large amount of database records. So to use these model factories, if you click on these model factories, so basically it is inside this testing, and if by clicking the database, you can see here database testing, and for that you can use this generate factories to generate a model factory, basically PHP artisan make factory, and also the name of your model by adding this factory keyword. Basically this is a convention that you can follow. So after creating these factories, you can seed the data or any amount of data that you want to seed into your database. So I think the theory is enough. Okay, so before anything else, what I'm going to do is I'm to close this one, and I'm going to write PHP artisan make Cedar category Cedar, because the first table that we have is the category table. So after this is successfully created, let's open the seeds. Inside the seeds, you can see we have the category Cedar. So to insert the data as you saw it here, what you can do is to just use this DB facade and after that table and insert the data. So what I'm going to use the DB. So DB is inside the facades and also the table. Which table? Categories table. And what we want is we want to insert data. Okay. So let me clean this by pressing the Alt and Enter. So I'm using the PHP Storm. Okay. So this name of categories is coming from this category table. You can see we have the categories. So inside the categories table, we have only name. This ID is auto-incremented. So what we can do is just putting name, and the name is the first one. I'm going to use a scholarship, and I'm going to copy this one, paste it few times. So this is the fellowship. I think it is like this. And also we have internship. Okay. It is internship. Okay. I think this categories are enough. And if I right now go to this database Cedar, you can see here we have something like this dot call and user Cedar. But I don't want to use the user Cedar right now. What I want is to write this and call a category Cedar, and from that the class to use the full resolution name. Okay, and if I right now run it like PHP artisan db seed. So before running this, let me close this one, and open the categories. You can see that inside the categories we don't have any record. So if I run this, you can see the category Cedar just seeding and seeded. So if I right now go to the back to my database and select from, you can see we have 3 records that we inserted. So this is the way that you can record database using Cedars. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this user Cedar. So, and before that we have the next table as countries. So what I'm going to do is the same thing. I am going to use that is PHP artisan make Cedar, and I'm going to use the country Cedar. Once the country Cedar is created, we can go and click on country Cedar. And here inside the run method, what we want is a list of countries to seed into our database. But creating this list of countries is really a difficult or tough task to do. And for that, I will provide a link into the description, which heads you over to the Part-5 on GitHub. And here you have a list of countries, states, and cities all over the world, and you can choose from the countries table Cedar. Okay, so after that's open, what you can do is just copy this part. These are the list of countries. Just copy it and you can paste it here. So I'm going to close this part and also this part. What we have is this DB. Let me bring it in, import the class. So that is illuminate support facades and DB. So we have list of countries. This is because we have here list of countries, and this countries has name, phone code, and country code. Let me copy this one. Okay, I'm going to paste it here, comment it out, and what I'm going to do is, because we have name, phone code, and country code, so this is the country code, but it is written as code. What I'm going to do is by selecting all, so I'm going to press the Control Command and G on Mac, so everything is selected, and I am going to write as country code, country underscore code, and also here we have the phone code. So basically this part is the phone code. I'm going to select all of it, and I am going to just put an underscore here because in our database we have phone code and country code. So that's it. And right now we have the list of countries that we can seed into our database. So basically we are using the DB facade and the table countries, and first of all deleting any record if it's there inside this table, and after that what we want is adding all this list into our countries array and just inserting that countries array. Okay, so let me open the terminal, and here first of all I'm going to write PHP, but before that what I need to do is to just call this method. So I'm going to call it inside the database Cedar, call, and the class that we want to seed is country Cedar and class. Okay, so I'm going to write PHP artisan migrate fresh because I want to clean everything in the database, and also I'm going to write PHP artisan db seed. So if I write it and if I head over to the database and select from the countries table, you can see that we have a list of countries that we want to use. Okay, but after this part, for the opportunities, first of all, what we need is this created by, I mean the user, and also we want the country ID and category that we have already, but we don't have the users. So what we need is to create a user Cedar. Okay, clear, PHP artisan make Cedar, and that is user Cedar. Okay. So we have this user Cedar, and inside this user Cedar, but before that, I don't want to add only one user, but what I want to insert into the database is at least around 400 or 200, what you can say, the users that I want to seed it into database at once. So adding all those users manually is really a tough work to do. For that, I'm going to use the model factories. What I'm going to do is using this one, copying and just pasting it here, and I'm going to change the name to user factory. Okay, it says already exists because Laravel is going to add it by default. So if I open it, you can see that here we have a factory, and this factory is coming from this part, Illuminate Database Eloquent Factory, and we have the faker generator as faker. So basically this faker is a PHP library that I will add the link in the description. So this is for generating some fake data like faker name, fake addresses. Okay, so Laravel is using the faker under the hood. You can see this closure that here we have the faker, but we need some additional data in this table. Let me copy it from the migration, going to the users table, it's here, and I am going to use, because this remember token is already there, I'm going to use this part only. So I'm going to close this one inside the user factory. Let me close this terminal. So here I am going to comment this one. So first of all, we have the first name, not name, first underscore name, and also we have the last name. So this is our first name. You can see that this faker method provides these things, first name and last name. So how I get to know, because if you just go here from the list, if you choose the person, you can see for the person we have many things like title male, title female, suffix, and examples are already here. And here we have the last names like this one, and also we have the first name. We have first name male, first name female. So I just used it as unknown, so it can be male and female, doesn't matter. Okay, and also we have bio. So bio, and we are going to use the faker to generate some text. So this text is also there. Let me just go, and here for the text, the real text we have, and also we have something called text. So let me press Ctrl F and search for the text. You can see that here we have faker text, and we need to post the put the maximum number of characters that we want. So we want it maximum to be 300 characters. So this is the maximum. And also we have email unique. So you can see that email faker unique and safe email. And we have the verified, already it is there. The only thing that we want is the profile picture. So this profile picture is going to use the faker to generate it, and basically this is a URL. So I'm going to use the image URL. So image URL, and the width and the height is going to be 150 and 150. So how I got this one? Because we have something for images. If I go back to this faker library here for the images, we have the image part, and for the image you can see that you can use image URL for width and height. Okay, so this will just put this URL from lorem pixel and width and height. Okay, so now what we want is to use this faker. Let me delete this part, we don't want that. And right now inside the users Cedar, now it is different. We don't need to use the DB, rather we need to use the factory. And this factory, you can hover on it. Here it needs a class name and also the amount. So just you need to specify the class or the model and also the amount of records that you want to insert. So I want this class to be user, and this user is inside our app because it is there already, this user, this model, and we want to use the class to put the full resolution name, and also we want to create at least 200 users, and we want to create it. Okay, we want to create this amount of users, and let me add this Cedar inside our database Cedar. It is already there. Let me just uncomment it, and again I am going to use this PHP artisan migrate fresh to delete all the records, and I am going to use the PHP artisan db seed, so it will seed all the data inside the database. So if right now if I select from the users, you can see that we have seeded all this data inside our user table, and most of these things are completely different. And even we have the password, we have the profile picture, we have everything. So the same thing what we need is to create for our opportunities and also opportunity detail. So opportunity, because these opportunities also has one opportunity detail, so we need to know about the relationship. A relationship is one-to-one, so every opportunity has one opportunity details. So for that what we need is PHP artisan make factory, and this is going to be opportunity factory, and the model is specified with this factory is our models and opportunity. Because if you put opportunity like this, opportunity, let me put it like that and hit the enter, what it will do is if I open this factory, you know, see right now if I open this one, it's just adding by default into app opportunity, but this is not there. So let me delete it, and what we want is this opportunity is inside the models and opportunity. Basically it is here inside the models and we have the opportunity. So right now if I hit enter and open this factories, you can see that we have the opportunity factory and we have it already here. So what we want is, let me just copy this opportunity columns, and I'm going to close everything, close this one, and this one. So I'm going to paste it here. Okay, so how we can do this one? First of all, we need a title. So we are going to use the faker, and we need to generate a sentence for that. So this sentence is number of words that we want. So this number of words, at least we want to be 10, or we can say that it should be 15. It's number of words, so more than that. So let me put it 150. And also we want this to be different, so true. We want a description. So this description is text, so we need to use faker text. The maximum words that we want for this description is to be at least maximum words 500, and we want the category ID. So this category ID belongs to the category, and this category is inside the app models and lookup, and we want all categories, and from this all categories we want to choose randomly. So randomly what? an ID or a category ID. The same thing, we want the country, and this country is also the country, and this country is inside the app models, so lookups. So what we want is to select all the countries, and from those countries we want to randomly select an ID. So this is how we do it. And the other thing that we have here is the deadline. Okay, for the deadline we have the faker, and it is dead time. So dead time because it is a timestamp, and we have an organizer. So organizer, and we want this faker company. So this is the company that we can use. So if you go to the faker, here you also have the company. So let me, the company. You can just write the company, it will generate a name of a company. Okay, so that's it. So let me do one thing else. Let me first of all clean up this code, and it will just import all the the models or the here, and also I'm going to delete this commented codes, and I am going to generate another factory that is opportunity detail. So opportunity detail factory, and the related model is model opportunity detail. It will create the opportunity detail factory. Let me copy this, the values. So these things are nullable, so I'm going to use this part only. These eligible regions are nullable. We can add it later, and I'm going to paste it here. Okay, we need to have benefits, faker text, and this text is a maximum of 600 words, or 600 characters, sorry. We have application process, so this is also a faker of faker text, and this is at least 400 words. I'm just going to copy this line, and for the queries I'm going to put the same, and also for the eligibilities also the same, but this should be 500. We have a start date. Let me just copy this part. A start date is a date time method, date time. Okay, and we have the end date completely, this one as this. Okay, and the last one that we have is our official link that I'm going to copy paste it here, and this is a URL. So URL, that's it. So we have all the things. So this is, even this official is nullable, so we don't want it, but it's okay. Okay, so we are done with this what we can say, the opportunity details factory. And right now this is the important step, that first we need a Cedar to create a Cedar, PHP artisan make Cedar, and this is going to be our opportunity Cedar. And after creating this Cedar, what we want is to just again use that factory, and this factory needs the class name and also the amount. What I want is to generate, first of all, use the opportunity class. We want at least to have 200 records, or let me put it 300, it doesn't matter. 300 records of this opportunity. We want to create it, and after each one, what we want is, after each one, it will call this closure function, and it will give us this opportunity created, that this opportunity is already created. So opportunity, and what we want right now, let me just minimize this one a little bit and this one. So what we want is, after creating each factory, let me clean up this code. After creating each opportunity, we want the the opportunity details also to be added. So this opportunity details, because this opportunity and opportunity details, they have a one-to-one relationship. So before everything else, what we need is to first go to inside our models and opportunity, and we need to add the relationships. And for that, we need to go to this first of all inside the database and inside the query builder, no eloquent ORM, and here we have the relationships. So for the relationships, if you choose it from there, it will be one-to-one, one-to-many. So what we need is one-to-one. For that, what we need is public function, suppose phone, and this has app phone, and also we can use it like that. So what we can do is public function, and this is detail of this opportunity, and this return this one, I mean this opportunity, this in the PHP means this class, this has one opportunity detail, and this is the class. Okay, so basically what does it mean? That this opportunity class has one detail or opportunity detail, and even we can do one thing else, that we can put public function opportunity return this or this class, which class opportunity details belongs to what? Opportunity inside app model. Okay, so we have something like this, means that this class opportunity details belongs to opportunity. Okay, so that's it, we have done this part. Let me close it, and inside the opportunity Cedar, what I'm going to do is to first of all call this opportunity dash detail, so because it has detail, and we want to save it, but we want to create something. We want to use the factory to create this one opportunity detail related to this one. To make it, and that's it. Okay, so let me just go again. Here we have opportunity, that everything is there, and also we have the opportunity. So we have the opportunity, what we can say, details. And one thing else that you might notice, that here inside the opportunity details, if I go to there, we have one thing else, that is opportunity ID, and we are not adding it here inside the opportunity detail factory. If you see, it is not here. Why? Because inside this Cedar, inside the opportunity Cedar, you can see for each opportunity we are making a detail, and automatically it will put that opportunity ID inside this factory. So let me clean this code as well. So that's it. So what right now we need to do is to add this Cedar, to also call this Cedar or the opportunity Cedar inside our database Cedar. So opportunity Cedar class. Okay, so let me run the terminal, clear it, and also PHP artisan migrate fresh, and PHP artisan db :seed. So we have an error here. So let me open the error. So it says that it's truncated the title. So the title of opportunity, it is a lot. It says it is big. So we use this opportunity factory, the sentence. Oh, what number of words? So it should be at least like 15 or 15 words. So it's not characters. So what I'm going to do is migrate fresh to clean the database and db seed. So again we have this problem, created by doesn't have, oh, we have this created by, I think, inside the opportunities. Let me see. Yeah, we have the created by and we didn't add it inside the opportunity factory, I think. So we have the category. Okay, we have the created by, and this created by is basically from the if you see, this is coming from the users table. Okay, and from the users table, so it is from the user all, and we want to randomly select an ID from. Okay, so that's it. Let me clean up this code. Okay, and one thing else that in the previous video I have missed to add, I think, inside the opportunity details. So we need to have something like we have this opportunity ID here. So this opportunity ID works as a foreign key, and we have this opportunity details belong to this opportunity. What we want is on delete, we want to cascade it. So means if the opportunity is deleted, so we want to automatically delete this opportunity details as well. So that's it. Let me again migrate fresh to clean the database and db seed. So we are done, I think. So we are completely done. And if I right now go to this opportunities, we can see that we have the opportunities created for us, and the number of these opportunities are 300. And also related to this opportunity details, we can see that we have also this generated data for each opportunity ID. So we successfully generated this data or test data for our database. And for the comments and the question, I am going to pause the video because it is completely the same. So I'm going to pause the video and I'll add it, and then I'll come back to you and explain it. So I have added this question factory, and this question factory is basically like that. If you just write PHP factory, the question factory that I already created, and related to this one, we have the model question, and it's created for me. We have the question, and also which is a text. Maximum is 255 because it's a string. And also we have the created by, relates to this user, and from the user we want to choose a random ID. And the same thing I have did with the comment factory. So just by running PHP artisan make factory comment factory, and the related model is models comment. And inside the comment, we have question ID, and also we have the created by. So this comment is text, maximum like 255. The question ID is coming from our question, the question table. So this question model, and from all we want to just randomly choose an ID. And also created by is the user, and from we want to select all the users, and from those users we want to randomly select an ID. So these are our factories, and after that we need to create our Cedars. So we need to create the question Cedar by running PHP artisan make Cedar question Cedar, and inside the question Cedar we just need to call that factory, means factory, and this factory belongs to this question class, and we want 250 records. We want to create it. Just you know how this Laravel knows that this factory belongs to this one, because we just put it here, question factory, and we just added the convention. We just followed the convention. That's why it knows that we have already a factory related to this question model. And the same thing, we need to create a comment Cedar by running PHP artisan make Cedar comment Cedar. And after that, we need to just run the this factory. And for the comments, I have already put 500 records. So after adding these two Cedars, you need to call it inside the database Cedar. So if I open the database Cedar, the first we need to add the question Cedar, and then we need to call the comment Cedar. Just make sure that you first add the question Cedar, because this comment Cedar belongs to this question. I mean, uses the this question table as a foreign key. So right now, let me clear this terminal and run by, what is that, PHP artisan migrate fresh and PHP artisan db :seed. So it takes a little bit time because we have 500 comments. So we are successfully seeded the data. So let me go and open the first of all the comments. Doesn't matter. So here you can see that we have 500 comments or 500 records. And also if I open the question, you can see that here we also have around 250 records. So this is the way that you can seed some dummy or text data into your database. So after this, we will work on this data, and we access this data through API, and we will use it inside our mobile application and also inside our front end application. So this was all about the seeding the data into your database. So thank you for watching, and kindly subscribe and hit the bell button so you'll be notified about the next video.